There is growing concern over a potential nuclear disaster in Ukraine. After a new round of shelling near that Russian-held nuclear power plant, there are reports that Russia told plant workers not to show up to work today. Our Britt Clennett is in Ukraine with the latest.
Fears in Zaporizhia over that nuclear power plant are rapidly growing after Russia told its staff there not to go to work today. And there were multiple attacks again near Europe's largest power plant overnight. Both sides have been warning of an escalation there. And in Zaporizhia, preparations are underway to help people living at the plant get access to anti-radiation meds. This is Zelenskyy sounded the alarm in his meeting with the UN Secretary General, calling on the UN to help ensure the demilitarization of the nuclear power plant. But that proposal is being rejected by Russia, saying it would make the plant more vulnerable. But as we know in this, both sides have continued to blame each other for these attacks on the plant.
Britt Clennett, thank you very much. For more, we bring in former senior CIA field operative Darrell Blocker. I want to pick up and just ask you about President Zelenskyy tweeting, "The world is on the verge of nuclear disaster." So how concerned should we be for Europe? How concerned should we be here in the U.S.?
Well, I'll start with the good news. The good news is that the Russian and French presidents decided last week that they were going to allow the IAEA investigators to come in to the particular facility and to go through the Ukraine, which is against what Putin initially wanted. The bad news is there are 15 nuclear sites. In the early days, in late February, early March, the Russians took over, but it's still the Ukrainians that are manning and running the facility. So there might be a good message in the fact that they told them not to come in, because now they're down to the fact that they're preparing for the IAEA visit and they only need the security folks there. So I'm looking at the upside.
Darrell, let me ask you a cynical question with the IAEA. I mean, what if they come and, you know, for 48 hours, everybody's on their best behavior and then they leave?
Well, the IAEA has a long history of dealing with people who were intransigent against people who were trying to hide what their particular countries were doing, whether it was Iran, Pakistan, Libya, you name it, they exist. So they walk in understanding that people are going to be on their best behavior, that people are going to give them misleading information. But if they talk to enough people, if they have enough data to deal with, they can make their own value judgments.
Okay, well, that is somewhat reassuring. As you say, they've dealt with tons of areas in crisis before. Let me ask you this, Darrell. The Biden administration is readying about $800 million of additional military aid to Ukraine, could announce it as soon as today. How has American aid helped so far? What does this $800 million extra, so to speak, do?
I don't know the specifics of the 800 million, but the fact that the United States is leading the effort in terms of financially supporting the words that they are that they're telling the world, and that the rest of the world is following in our lead. So I don't know if the 800 million is going to make a huge difference, but as long as the world recognizes that the United States continues to step up, I think the rest of the world will also.
What is your take on how Ukraine is doing? We know ammunition depots, other sites in Russian-held territory were hit overnight, including in the Crimean Peninsula. But how do you see the status of the Russian advance and just how this conflict is going from your point of view?
From a military perspective and my analytical background, I think the Ukrainians have done something that's going to be talked about for a long, long time. They have held off a stronger, bigger, and actually quite fierce competitors in the Russians. But what the Russians didn't have was the resolve of the Russian people for this war, which is clearly 100% Putin's.
Darrell, thank you. We appreciate having you with us. Darrell Blocker with us there.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.